Hi, I am going to be discussing the stages of relational interaction. There are 10 stages of interaction that can help us understand how relationships come together and come apart. So it's important to note that relationship partners do not always go through stages sequentially, and some relationships don't even experience all the stages. We also do not always consciously move between stages, and coming together and coming apart are not inherently good or bad. Meaning, you don't wake up one day and tell your partner that today you are going to move together from the experimenting stage to the intensifying stage. You should move at a pace with your relationship that best suits you. So for the coming together process, the first stage is the initiating stage. In the initiating stage, people size each other up and try to present themselves favorably. For example, let's say that I'm at the mall and I run into a cute retail worker. I might introduce myself and start a basic conversation with them about how they like working there, and they may ask if I'm looking for anything in particular or why I'm at the mall. It's important to note that people typically follow typical social scripts for interaction at this stage, such as hello, nice to meet you, where are you from, etc. Next up is the experimental stage, where people exchange information and often move from strangers to acquaintances, similar to the sniffing ritual of animals. A basic exchange of information is typical as the experimenting stage begins. Now, let's say that I find out the cute retail worker's name is Nick. Through small talk, we may come to find out that we share similar interests, such as a favorite sports team, and we may even decide to exchange phone numbers. However, if my small talk is met with silence, that's probably an indication that I shouldn't pursue my interest in Nick. So following the experimental stage is the intensifying stage, where we indicate that we would like or are more open to intimacy, and then we wait for a signal of acceptance before we attempt more intimacy. This stage can easily be drawn out from anywhere between days or even years, just simply depending on the person. For example, it may take weeks of dinner dates before I am fully comfortable with Nick. Over this time, we establish jokes, nicknames, and really enjoy getting to know each other. Aside from sharing more intense personal time, requests for and granting favors may also play into the intensification of a relationship. Nick and I may take turns driving or paying for dinner, or set aside time to go see a special movie that one of us may be into. Then, the fourth stage, when coming together, is the integrating stage, where two people's identities and personalities merge, and a sense of interdependence develops. For example, I may tell Nick, let's invite so-and-so to our party, or I answer an invitation for both of us with, we will be there. The integrating stage allows relationships to come across as one single unit. Finally, the last stage of coming together is the bonding stage. The bonding stage includes a public ritual that announces formal commitment. This could be something like a wedding or a ceremony, which technically can occur at any stage in the relationship, but the symbolic act of bonding can also have very real effects on how two people communicate and perceive their relationship. It's also important to note that the bonding stage can be reversed or annulled, which is one of the reasons it's so important to spend time on the other previous stages. Jumping headfirst into the bonding stage is a sure way to end the bonding stage quickly. The next 5 stages of relational interaction now have to do with coming apart. We first have the differentiating stage, which is the reverse of integrating, as we and our reverts back to I and my. In this stage, couples have a hard time communicating their problems. For example, Nick may have friends that I am not fond of, and I do not like the kind of person he is when he is around them, which could lead me to differentiate. Next, we have the circumscribing stage, where communication decreases and certain areas or subjects become restricted as individuals verbally close themselves off from each other. Passive-aggressive behavior can come into play in this stage. Example of this, such as me telling Nick, I don't want to discuss this anymore, or they aren't your friends, so don't worry about it. In this stage, we are putting boundaries around ourselves and our true emotions. Then we have the stagnating stage. The relationship may come to a standstill as individuals basically wait for the relationship to end. The flaw of trying to mind read your partner takes place, and I may think that I do not want to bring up any more issues with Nick because I already know how he'll react, so I just think I should just stay silent. This is a hard stage emotionally and can often linger on because neither party is confident enough to really pull the trigger on the relationship yet. This can often lead to the avoiding stage where communication comes to a halt. I could say, I don't want to talk to you anymore, Nick, or I can't talk right now, I'm with my family, either directly or indirectly. It's important to note that if you are incapable of not being able to physically remove yourself from your partner, then you may engage in cognitive disassociation, which means even though you're in the same room with someone, they might mentally shut down and not want to communicate with you. Finally, the last stage of coming apart is the terminating stage. This can occur after a 10 or 20 relationship history, or can occur after a few days. Termination exchanges involve some type of communication elements and may begin with a summary message that recaps the relationship and provides a reason for the termination. For example, I may send Nick a text that looks like this: "I'm really thankful for our time together, and we both happen to be in the mall at the same day. You have taught me a lot, and we have had a lot of fun together. However, we both know that there are issues that we can't seem to get past. I know that we have tried our best, but I think it's time to go our separate ways. I wish you the best." This is a tough stage, but the final one when it comes to moving apart. Thank you, and I hope that you have learned all about the stages of relational interaction.